Well, hello, everyone. Good, glorious noon or something like that. Um, Whatever it is, I hope you're having a glorious day. And today I'm going to give you another Lavender House presentation regarding natural health. For those of you who know, I am a diet and lifestyle counselor. I trained under Ayurveda, and of course, Ayurveda is a term that's becoming more popular now. So, as more of you are hearing about it and becoming more inclined to have considerations or have questions, then give me a call 832-984-3499. Okay, I got one job, and that's to help you stay healthy as much as I possibly can naturally. And I'm not a doctor, but I look up and research and further my studies in Ayurveda, and I can make some suggestions, simple suggestions that you can change your diet and lifestyle and have a more fulfilling and hopefully pain-free life. And so one of the things that I'm talking about today is the benefits of castor oil. And I'm going to show you how to make a castor oil pack. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do, and I'm going to read this because I found this little short snippet, and that really will cut down on the talking time about this, so I can show you how to make the pack, which is kind of simple, but recently I've learned some little tweaks about it, okay? So it's not quite so messy, and I'm happy to share those with you. So, first of all, what is castor oil? Okay, so I'm probably going to date myself, but when I was a little girl, anytime we would have a problem with tummy aches or constipation, we would get castor oil. Probably about half a teaspoonful with some grape juice or some apple juice right behind, generally early in the morning, and we would go, okay. That's not quite so convenient these days because we're rushing to and fro. And so if we're not at home for an extended particular time, that might be inconvenient. Okay. It is a practice that I will adhere to sometimes when I am at home or if I have a condition. And I've recently been working with a condition that I had some constipation issues for quite some time. And so one of the things that I remembered was my grandmother giving me a teaspoonful of castor oil, and that got things moving. So there are numerous other ways to do that these days, but if you have trouble with chronic constipation, in addition to changing your diet, castor oil packs can help with that. So I have my things that I'm going to show you how to do it, but in the meantime, what I wanted to read to you was castor oil being applied topically to the skin has shown to increase circulation and improve elimination and the healing of tissues and organs. It is particularly supportive to the lymphatic system, which in turn helps to improve digestion, boost immune function, and reduce swelling and inflammation. I want to pick on that part about swelling and inflammation because I have some friends who are dealing with issues with their knees and their joints, okay? And so the lymphatic system is the system that it's like your sewer system, okay? It's part of your system of elimination, okay? And one of the things, if you have swollen ankles, if you have swollen knees, if you have pain in any part of your body, recognize that that's an inflammatory signal to you to say, I'm hurting. Something's going on here. Okay, and so if you have gout, if you have arthritis, I have friends who have arthritis in their knees and are considering getting knee replacement surgeries or hip replacement surgeries. I have friends, I have clients who have had success with some of these things that I'm going to bring about. So if you have fibroids, so if you've been diagnosed with fibroid tissues in your breast, in your abdomen, in your back, um, let's see. Okay, so fibroids. Okay, what castor oil can do, what castor oil packs will do for that is to stimulate the circulation and eliminate or dissolve the fibroid tissues or even scar tissues that you have in your body. Of course, now it may take some time. Natural healing takes time. Okay, so you got to have some patience. It's not going to be you take a pill and 24 hours later, bing. Okay, and most of the time, you take a pill and 24 hours later you might get symptoms instead of what you're hoping for. So, once again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just rendering some humble suggestions. Okay? And one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I have always had adverse reactions to chemical or synthetic treatments. Okay, and so I have to research and find more natural ways to help myself in these situations. And so, since I'm becoming a little older, I know I don't look it, but anyway, I am becoming older, and I want the vibrance of my life. I want to be able to walk and move and have my being, okay? And I am spiritually inclined. Um, so I would prefer to trust my intuition, what I call God, and the natural healing processes of the body. Our bodies were designed to heal itself, okay? So here's a quick story. Had a doggy when I was young, and that dog got hit by a truck, and I saw him get hit. And so he came running home yelping, and so I was kind of traumatized, and he ran up under the house. And so I scooted as far as I could and tried to reach him to pull him out from under the house so that I could help him. And so I couldn't reach him. And as a matter of fact, he growled and he nipped at me. And so when Daddy got home, I says, Daddy, Rock got hit by a truck and he ran up under the house and I can't get him. And so Daddy got down on his belly and looked up under there, and he says, well, he's still breathing, and it looks like he's sleeping, so he'll be okay. And I says, and back then we didn't take our animals to the vets and all this kind of stuff. So I says, what if he dies? And Dad said, his eyes are open. He's going to be okay. You can put a bowl of water under him. And I'm like, so what are we gonna do? What if he dies overnight? And Daddy says, okay, the animal knows how to take care of himself. One of the reasons he ran up under the house is so that you wouldn't be petting on him and hurt him further. He went to a place where it's cool and safe for him. He says, put a bowl of water under there. When he's ready to come out and play with you, he'll come out and play with you. In the meantime, just leave him alone. If you come down here to look at him, that's okay. If you come down here to talk to him, that's okay. But give him time to heal. And I just accepted that. Well, recently when I had an accident and I was in the hospital and they were trying to give me some food, which I don't like hospital food anyway, but I kept denying the food. And so finally, one of the doctors came in and says, "Why are you not eating?" And I says, "Because I'm in trauma. And when my body is in trauma, it doesn't need to be trying to digest food. It's trying to heal itself. All of my nerves and everything is in trauma. So I'm not going to eat food. If you'll bring me some water, I'll be fine." I learned that from my puppy. Here's the deal. If an animal has sense enough to know and to trust that their bodies will heal themselves and get themselves into a safe, cool place. Well, it was summertime, so under there where the dirt was, sheltered by the house, yeah, that was the best thing. So anytime you're traumatized, anytime there's pain in your body, that is a sign of something is traumatized in your body, and it's flared up and it's showing you pain. Now, in the case of things like gout, arthritis, even constipation, maybe your belly will feel tight and bloated, okay? Now, if you've got inflammation in there, you may have to go further, but if your tummy is kind of warm and sore, try the castor oil pack until you can get to see a professional. And I'm saying that because sometimes, especially in the larger cities, you can't just get a doctor's appointment right away. But here's something that you can do in the interim that may give you some comfort. Now, one of the other things that's going to happen is when your knees and your hips and your joints, maybe your hands or your wrist even, get to where they're kind of red and inflamed and painful. You get swelling. That's inflammation. And if the swelling is hot, that's because fluid is building up and the inflammatory process is kind of working overtime to try to get the white blood cells in and all this other kind of stuff to encourage the healing process, okay? So, and that being said, if you have a chest cold, put a castor oil compress on your chest, okay? Especially if you wind up with a little bit of a fever, put the castor oil compress on your chest, or even have someone, if you have asthma, put it on your back where your lungs are, okay? Because the castor oil is going to penetrate into your body and break up the mucousy stuff that's in there, break up the inflammatory stuff that's in there. And in the case of your knees or your hips, when you put the castor oil on there, it's pretty much going to do the same thing. And I want to say castor oil will work kind of like a mucus buster, because it's going to improve your circulation. And once you can get things moving around, then you can move around too. Okay, so let's get down to making a castor oil pack or compress. And you can Google a lot of the other stuff. So, and this is the one that I want to show you because I found it to be easiest. So I'm going to adjust my camera here a little bit so you can see what I'm working with. Okay, bear with me here for just a moment. All right, And here's my center of focus. Now what I have here is a incontinence pad. And I ordered this one from Amazon, and I got kind of the cheapest one. And so if you're going to order some, you might not want to go with the cheapest one because they're a little bit more difficult. So what I'm doing, and as you can see, this is, together, and I've peeled over the first layer. Now, underneath the first layer, I have a piece of flannel. Okay, now you don't have to go out and buy flannel. My grandmother used to use flannel packs for everything on us. I had childhood asthma, and so she would make these little packs, and of course they weren't this nice or whatever, but now we're moving around a lot more, and so I make my compresses this way, and I lay my flannel on top of the layer that catches all the stuff, okay? And so here's the absolute back of it, okay? And that's the plastic part that's going to go away from your body. And then I'm going to put this on top. Now, this will allow the castor oil to come through to your skin. And once your skin, your warm skin is beginning to warm that up, then it's going to draw the castor oil into your body. I'm going to start it this way, just because it works that way best for me. I'm going to pour some of the castor oil onto about the middle of the flannel. All right, and I'm moving it because I got a big blob down there, and I don't want particularly a big blob in one place. Okay, I want to kind of move it around. All right, and then I'm going to put a little more on top here, because I am actually going to use this pack onto my lower back where I have some pain, some inflammation, because I am dealing with osteoarthritis at this time. And so I used it when I was having some trouble with what I thought might be gallbladder problems. And I put it on this part of my body, right up under my rib cage, and on this side, because that's where your gallbladder is, that's where your liver is. And anytime I'm having constipation, then I put it on my abdomen, my lower abdomen. Okay, and I like to leave it on for a good period of time. Now I'm going to show you. Okay, you can get, I think this is 32 ounces of castor oil, because I'm going to be using this quite often, okay? Anytime I have pain, instead of an aspirin that's going to cause me to bleed internally or something else like that, I'm going to go for natural first, okay? And so then what I'm going to do while this is absorbing into the fabric, I've got some masking tape here, and if I can find the end of it, sometimes I forget and don't fold it back, and so I wind up with mess. Oh my. Okay, so I need my glasses. Okay, there we go. I knew I wasn't too far off. So what I'm going to do is start with the, okay, if I can get it edgewise, there we go. So I'm going to start with one end of it, okay, and here we go. And I'm going to start this way because well, because I don't want to flip the castor oil part over, so I'm going to start here and just move this over to where it lays on top of the masking tape, because that's easiest for me to do. Okay, and then I'm going to snip it on either end, and then flip it over so that the masking tape holds it together. And one of the other things is that the masking tape kind of holds it because I'm going to put it on my body, and the masking tape will also help to keep this oil inside of the pack, so it doesn't kind of get out on my clothes, because a lot of times I may need to run out to the supermarket or something, and I don't always want to take my pack off. Okay, now some other ways that you can do this is if you're working and you're not going to put a pack on, you can, when you get home, run into the bathroom and your pack is already made. I want to express that some part of this needs to be done already. Okay, and so with your pack already made, you just pour some more castor oil on it, and your castor oil pack can be used for, I think, I have used the same one for 3 or 4 days. I've heard other natural paths telling me that I could use the same pack for like up to 20 days, and not me. Okay, I'm going to want to change that thing out and get it cleaned up a little bit sooner than that. Of course, with other people telling me that, and people who are certified naturopaths giving me that information, that just tells me about the power and the if you keep everything nice and clean, the power of the castor oil. Okay, and how long it can last. Of course, now daily I will replace, a little bit of the castor oil itself. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to kind of close all my edges. I'll turn this around so I can work with it. I'll be putting this one a little bit further over. Of course, you get the general idea here. And the reason I put the castor oil on first is because I'm going to apply this to my body. I don't know if I'll do it at the during the time that I'm here with you, but that's kind of my plan. We'll see where we go. All right, so I'm going to turn this around where I can work with it better and where you can see it better. And what I am attempting to do here is get all the corners and the edges under the masking tape. Now, what I have found out in the past is that depending on your curves and how you bend and the activity that you do all in a day, the masking tape can become a little bit more uncomfortable against your body than any other part of this process. Now, if you've noticed, the castor oil is absorbed into the tissues of the what was the name of this thing? the pad, okay, the incontinence pad. All right, and so at this point, it's not like all soupy and drippy and all this kind of stuff. However, it is absolutely ready to be applied to my body. I will be applying this pack to my lower back, And so you probably want to get to see that. But I'm going to stand up just for a moment to show you some more things about the benefits of making a pack and how to utilize it. Okay? Now, if you're making a pack for like your knees, let's say your knees, okay? And if you ever have a brace for your knee and you're a lady, you might wear your brace, and but you'll apply the pack to your knee. And I want to say it like this because you'll stretch out your knee, of course, and apply the pack. And then you will maybe tape it on the edges to your actual knee. Or if you have a brace that covers that area, then you can put your brace on and allow your brace to hold it, okay, in place. Now, if you have a really stiff knee, that's going to work really well. But now if you have some movement in that knee, depending on where your limitations are, that might restrict your movement a little bit. So kind of test that out and see. But if you have some movement in that knee and you can bend that knee, the other thing that you can do is use like an ace bandage wrap around it. You don't need to put it tight, just to give you some support, okay? And to keep this thing from moving around. Now, if you're going to, if you are going to put it in another area where maybe you're curvy or maybe you're going to be moving, particularly in the lower region of your body. And my body is very active, so I'm going to be putting it on this area. And I'm not going to be able to take that, okay? Okay. However, my clothing might be able to hold it in position. If I'm going to put it down here, then my underwear will probably, and this is where the colon is, okay, and the tummy. Or if I'm going to put it on the liver area or gallbladder area, you move and you breathe. So there's two things you can do. You can take a large towel, but that's going to limit you to being kind of staying in the house maybe. And you could definitely do this for extended periods of time. If you're going to bed, put the castor oil pack on, and then you go to bed, because it's easy to wrap yourself in an ace bandage or even some plastic wrap. I don't suggest the plastic wrap because it may be irritable to the rest of your body. So find out what works best for you. So one of the things that I have found out that works best for me is a little garment like this. It has, I've forgotten what they call these right now. So those of you who can see this, it has little eyelet closures, okay? Just kind of like a bra, all right? But I usually leave it already done, and then I can just slip my legs into it, okay, and raise it up to, if I'm working on this area. Now these have little rivets in it, so I have to bring it up a little bit. And then if I'm working up here, and then I get complete movement, okay, because this thing is going to move with me. However, my castor oil pack is not going to move. It's going to stay right where I put it, and I won't have to put any tape on my body. Now, look on Amazon, look at Walmart. I think I bought these things from Walmart, oh gosh, maybe years ago. Spandex or Spanx, okay, will work in those areas too. And like I say, they have the little rib things that kind of support you. Okay, and that's also going to help keep everything in place. So, you need a pair of scissors, you need some masking tape, you need the incontinence pads, okay, and you need some castor oil. And if you're going to go out, then you might need a garment, or if you're staying in the home, do whatever works for you. Now, back to the plan. You can use a castor oil pack. The same castor oil pack. I use it up to 5 days, okay? If you can leave it on, if there's an area that you're working with and you leave it on for a longer period of time, then that's up to you. Cleanliness, okay, and the provision of the medicine is what is going to dictate how long you will need to use it. Now, for things like fibroids in the breast and fibroids in the lower feminine parts, and breaking up scar tissue, say for instance you had gallbladder surgery or something like that, or surgery, maybe a cesarean section, okay, and you've got a nasty looking scar somewhere down here or down. But what I'm trying to say is that there can be periods of time where you're not only looking at the outside, there's scar tissue on the inside. And so if you want to break up that scar tissue, if you want to break up that constipation, okay, here's your friend, okay? You don't have to take it, okay, in your mouth anymore. Another thing that I was going to suggest for those of you who have a great amount of pain, especially when the weather changes and it gets cold around here, sprinkle a little bit of cayenne pepper right over the castor oil, and I mean just a tiny bit, okay? Or even mix it in. Put it in a little tiny cup and mix it in. The cayenne pepper will go in with your castor oil in a slow, even process. Now you might feel something warm, okay, and that's the cayenne pepper going into your tissues, all right. And once the cayenne pepper starts going into your tissues, it's going to warm up that knee or warm up that back. That's what I'm going to do. But you want to make sure you're putting a small amount. If you put too much and it's too hot, okay, then remove your castor oil pack and wash your back off so it's nice and clean, and put a little butter or some ghee on there. And because when you get like too much hot sauce, if you drink some milk or if you get some butter, then it helps to cool it down. That's what I'm talking about. But oil is better, ghee is good, butter is good, just to cool it down, all right? And then you can put your castor oil pack back on and continue with your life. Now, I hope this information has helped you. I'm still trying to work on cutting my time length down with these informations, but hey, it is what it is. And if you can go to the doctor's office and sit in there for 30 minutes waiting for the doctor while he spends 15 minutes with someone else or she, yeah, time is time. Spend some time on you naturally. Now, remember, I love you all. I hope this has been a good suggestion for you. And remember, call me if you have questions. I love you all.